All right. All right, all right, all right. So we are going to do part 3 today. Speaking with Summer Wells' neighbor, Jody Sue Brown. I did rewind it just a little bit because I can't remember exactly where I stopped it yesterday. So I am rewinding it just a tad bit. So if you hear her say something that she said yesterday, that is why, because I rewinded a little bit. All right. Well, people, I don't know if people are even interested in this, but this isn't out there. This is the first time I'm putting it out. Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, let me get my little peace sign girl off of here. All right, like I said, this may start a little bit into the yesterdays, but okay, this is Remain Calm speaking with Jody Sue Brown, the neighbor of Summer Moon Utah Wells and Don and Candace Wells. So let's just get into it.
People on it that have always deserved to be protected, and they're good, upstanding, beautiful people. And it's like I try to protect my neighbors that are vets and are clearly having PTSD, moments in cancer care, and others that are vulnerable, special needs adults that really are, with any disruption, able to have seizures that can kill them. And we're at that point. And I mean, neighbors, they're beautiful. They're normal, upstate, that house ain't full of just this there. I mean, for the most part, the most disruption to it, obviously, is Andy beating the shit out of us, but otherwise, not so much anything unreal. No traffic. I've always told the truth about that. I can name the exact amount of people on less than 2 hands that ever visited the house in like the decade plus lived there, right?
Right.
And we didn't have visitors, stayed to myself, la la la. There was no traffic coming on. For the most part, the disruption's Fred them and Dawn and Candace.
The disruption is Fred and them, Don and Candace. I'm going to read my banner very quickly to everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Remain Calm. Opinions and theories with no repercussions. Opinions of this channel may not be the opinions of others, and we are good with that. I commentate with the hope to educate. Trigger warning where needed, and always entertaining. Dress up your cursey words in chat, please, and be respectful to each other. That is all I ask. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Please feel free to tip the host at Cash App, $Remain Calm 01. It would be greatly appreciated. Right.
All the traffic, all the people, all
This is
the
when
things.
Marlena comes up.
So.
Is that you, Marlena?
Yes, it is. And Jody said you need to quit your line right now.
I'm not going to.
You're not going to get on these channels and talk shit about me when you're the one that told me over here to BP that Fred said that he plotted against taking my youngin. Now, come on. I've got witnesses that night. You want to make it?
I've got it recorded.
Good. Homie. I hope you do. I hope you do, because I got recorded too. And you're the one that's going around telling people that I'm sitting at Burger King doing drugs and passed out. Fuck you, bitch.
I didn't say anything about you being passed out at Burger King on drugs. Are you stupid?
I never heard that either. I never did hear Jody Sue say anything about Marlena being at Burger King. I believe that was actually Andy that said that, right? That he had seen her at Burger King off and on using the Wi-Fi, I guess. And my thing is, this has nothing to do with Summer, okay? If there was a conversation had about Fred and what he was up to or what he was doing, that has to do with Marlena and her family, okay? That right there has nothing to do with Summer, in my opinion.
Way too fucking long. Why don't you know why you didn't take a lie detector test,
Marlena.
bitch? Huh?
I've offered one, Marlena. Day one of you.
Did you take one, Marlena? Hey, Porch.
Did you take one, Marlena?
Yeah, I took one, bitch. What about you? Did you take one, bitch?
I've offered one. They said they didn't need one.
Oh, I forgot. You was sick and you couldn't because of the medication you was on, right? You got on PG's panel. You got on PG's panel and said what the fuck you was gonna blame it on who was it?
You was
gonna blame it on Billy you was gonna blame it on Billy.
Oh, you're right. I did have my hand over my mouth. I forgot about that. That was mentioned to me yesterday and I was like, no, that was Jody. No, I did too. Because I was like, girl, Marlena, TMI.
What,
I didn't blame anything on Billy. You and Fred are the one out here bringing his name out. You and Fred are the one bringing his name out.
Wait, who's Billy, Marlena? Who's Billy?
He's trying to say that I'm blaming something on, but I never blamed anything on Billy Benton. Are you stupid?
Andy was hollering for Billy Benton, and he knew exactly what the fuck you all just did. What the fuck did you all just do?
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Marlena.
You took that extra out.
Marlena. Billy Benton. Billy Benton is who they're talking about. Because I was like, who's Billy? You guys know me. I don't know anybody. I claim to know no one. Marlena, who's telling you all this stuff?
Oh, it was played for me multiple times that she said it, and then she wanted to be played. I'll go
in context or out of context or scream together.
Oh, okay. What about you going around saying that you wasn't going to stand in front of Andy anymore? You knew he was over there selling drugs to Ben Hillholler over at 110.
You and your people, you don't slinging bullets. Are you serious? Like we don't know you all heroin pills?
It came out your mouth.
Yeah, weed, Marlena, weed.
Yes,
you said the pills, bitch. Won't you go back and read and listen?
Did you or did you not leave your kid where you supposedly knew all this?
I didn't leave my kid there. Thank you. Yeah, fuck you. You don't need to know anything about me. You know what? Yeah. You know what? This is over. And when it's okay, bitch. Keep following me. Keep following me. Keep stalking me.
Marlena. You guys know Remain Calm. I was like, what good was that conversation? Okay. I mean, we got a few tidbits within it, right? But I'm not into people hollering and screaming at each other. Honestly, you guys, I'm not. I'm just not into that stuff.
I ain't stalking you. And girl, I got cameras and recorders on me at all times. Plus, I hear the house.
I'm gonna need bail money. Bitch, you're gonna need bail money the next time you're out.
I'm sure, Mom. You know, whatever.
You're fucked up driving around with your kids all the time, bitch.
Hey, I need bond money. So let's start a little account. We'll call it Remain Calm Bail Money account. Okay? For real.
I ain't fucked up at all. I have cancer and speech disability, you dummy.
You're fucked up now, dummy.
Hey, Remain. How long's my voice been like this?
A long time. Gosh.
Was that not in the hospital just the other night? Hey, Marlena, go out right now and get yourself a CVS drug test kit. I'll follow along on live. I'll piss on camera. You want to do that?
Yeah, you lie about it anyway.
Hey, act right.
No, I ain't. I'll be one alive. I'll even show my whole ass pussy while I piss in the cup.
That is so funny because Jody's saying, I'll piss in the cup in front of everybody. And Marlene is saying, you'll lie about it anyway. Lord have mercy.
Nobody wants to see.
I told Ziggy the same. Her and Fred couldn't stop lying. I've yet to see that girl piss in a cup. Remain, if y'all want to see me enough, I'll stay on camera the whole time. I'll go my ass straight, Bob.
Jody, I don't need for you to go to CVS and show me your coochie while you're peeing in a cup, girl. Okay? I'm just saying, Remain Calm doesn't need to see it. For real.
I don't care. And look here, y'all see how we in the hospital the other night. That's how much she knows me, Remain, since the other day. And when she see me at the store, my voice was really bad because I had an infection, right? And so when my body's under stresses, it gets really bad. Yep. But even the people around were like, look, anyway. But my speech, y'all can tell, it goes up and down. But I was at the hospital the night after that.
Right.
Less than 24 hours getting blood work, labs, piss, you name it. Yeah. Whole night. You know?
Because I think what a lot of people don't understand now, even a lot of times anymore now, cancer doctors can subscribe opiates and things, you know, to their cancer patients. But a lot of time anymore, they send them to a pain management doctor. And the majority of the time, either you're getting a piss test every month or like every 3 months. They, it's like, this is federally, so it's not just a state to state thing.
You know, I clearly have medical conditions. I'm pretty sure. Actually, if I wanted to bring it up from the other night when Marlene is swearing she seen me and I was twisted on PGs, I could probably bring up what the lab said, and I'll tell you, I probably not even acetaminophen in there. Right. There might be because I take Tylenol here, and that's about it. And like seriously, Marlene ever wants to go head for head at a CVS drug testing, we'll do it.
Right. Yeah, go do it. That's what I say. Go
and
do it. Why don't everybody just have a CVS pee on a stick party? Why don't y'all just do that? All of y'all. Creators too. Everybody go to CVS. Show yourself pissing on a stick. Inquiring minds want to know. I really don't want to know, but other people do.
He said she had a polygraph. And that's if I had one. Man, I've offered since day one. I have the text the detectives, you know, all the things in the feds. Y'all seen me for years try to get one of my own. I have proof and by officials around somewhere that the ones that we even tried to pay from on, like, you know, got money together for, that I located the best in the world, contacted them. I have the recordings of this. Y'all want to hear them at some point? I'll release. But they had to get.
Jody said, I'm on no pain meds of any kind. Stop that. I'm just fucking around, Jody. I'm just playing. I believe you. I believe you, Jody C. Brown. I believe you're not on any pain meds. But if you are, that's your own business. I mean, hey, ain't got nothing to do with me, girl.
Get confirmation from the FBI, who they also trained and did things with.
Right.
These are the best of the best in the world, and the FBI would not give consent. So obviously they're real hot on giving JSB a polygraph.
Right.
You know, so, but Marlena here has apparently been polygraphed, so I guess new news, whether you believe bullshit or not.
Well, the thing about it is... Oh, wait. I want to say something about that. That is very interesting that Marlena said that, right? Why would... Marlena wasn't there or anything that day, right? Allegedly. So why would they give her a polygraph test? Unless it was maybe for other reason. What do you mean this is mad, Sandra Horn? What is mad about it? What is so mad about it? I don't know. I don't know why you're saying it's mad. Why is it mad? Inquiring minds want to know. Jody, I laughed so hard at your live last night. I didn't watch Jody's live last night, but she is really amusing. Jody's really funny. She's got a really good sense of humor. When you're messing with some of these people, you have to have a good sense of humor, because if you don't, then you really let them get to you, and that's giving in to them. When you give in to them and you fight and you bicker back and forth with them, that's giving in to them. So, you got to have some sense of humor somewhere. Nobody in your chat said anything like that for you to insinuate. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Jody? Nobody in my chat said what? Now you're confusing me. What? You're confusing me, because what did I say? When I was joking around about CVS? Later, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't. I'm not fucking psychic. Okay? I wasn't talking about her going to a fucking pain clinic. That wasn't addressed towards you, Jody. So why would you take that as I was addressing you? Like I said, a lot, and I'll say it again, a lot of freaking people who have cancer and shit can be subscribed things from their oncologists. They absolutely can. A lot of times they have those people go to a fucking pain clinic. They absolutely do. So I don't know why you think I was pointing that in your direction, but I wasn't. So you can take it however you want to take it, but I wasn't talking about you at all. Obviously, you said in this live, you're not taking anything. So you're not fucking taking anything. I don't live with you. How the fuck am I supposed to know? Jesus fucking Christ. The thing about Marlena, if Marlena wants help, she knows where to get help. Right now, she's making quick money. She likes the quick money. That's absolutely my opinion. She was. That's my opinion. Who doesn't like quick money, right? But hey, Poppy. Yeah.
But there ain't no need to come out. I mean, like, and be lying to get it, or to be using your whole community, or putting shit on people that don't belong, or making others look like pervs, listen there, la la la, or for her to be like, oh, Andy was whatever to the Wells. I've always been serious about it. Like, it usually like a Friday, and it wasn't like it was like a 6 pounds. It was like it was a joint's worth or something,
Right.
And I couldn't show the message.
And I explained that yesterday. If you go back and listen to Andy and Jody both, Dawn and Candace would pester the shit out of them. No, I didn't mean it that way, Jody. You're taking it out of context. You really are. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about different, because don't tell me I'm fucking wrong, Jody. I know I'm right. But no, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about oncology patients. There are some oncologists who can order in pain medication for their patients. Others send them to pain management doctors, where they have to get a piss test every month or every 3 months, however the fucking place goes. But no, I wasn't directing that at you, Jody. So take it however you want to. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you that I wasn't talking about you when I wasn't fucking talking about you. It was a general fucking statement. So what the fuck ever.
Just on his phone. The whole 2 hours we'd be out, and that'd be my 1 day out a week. They'd be terrorizing or something. Like,
right.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that wasn't consistent.
You're not the only person who's had cancer, Jody. For real. Many people on social media have had cancer, or they're going through cancer right now. For sure.
Whoever their mains were, that's who they mostly went to, and it wasn't even Monster.
Right. And I don't care what Marlena's doing. Unless her doing those things has to do with Summer missing. That's the only pieces that I'm putting together there, is the substances that you say Marlena's doing. And guess what? All of the substances that you named, Jody, are not substances that a fucking cancer doctor would give a patient. For real. So, does those substances in some way, shape, or form have to do with Summer going missing?
Right. Even for plot, Monster wasn't their main guy.
Right.
You know? I
Right.
know who were some of their mains, but the thing is, it's like, you know, it gets stupid at a certain point. People like Andy, weed. And then they ignore the Marlenas and the ties. I mean, look, you can bring up any Google search on her and her folks who changed out and see what the hell they've been into and what they're about.
Google search them.
Listen,
well, I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, when you talked about Andy and the sedatives. Here we go.
Yeah, like I used a big one.
Yeah, but this is the thing. They didn't ask you what kind. They never did they? Did they ask you if it was pills or pot or, you know, they never asked you that, right? But I had someone in my chat say that they had the receipts where you, Jody, now I am talking to you, where you said it was other than weed. Now, I'm sure they can pull it up if they like. I don't know exactly where it was at, but hey, where you got me wrong is I don't care who likes you and who don't like you. That's not my business. I don't care if all you locals get your little whatevers and sit in Beach Creek and have a freaking war. It doesn't matter to me. It's what is relevant in Summer's case. That has to do with Summer. Marlena sitting at Burger King using the Wi-Fi. What's that got to do with Summer? I don't know. Does it have anything to do with Summer? I don't know. They just assume that you...
Tiffany spent all night, because I was on my own live. It's over there. It's titled Fuck Around, Find Out, FAAFO. And it is one of the first ones. But I spent, and that's the thing, they had been intended to bring Andy out here, even paperwork based, into Target, and it did. It created the reaction they wanted, got the response. Right. I was stuck in a character limit. That's when my dumbass chose big girl words. I didn't realize even still at that point how this place could spend things. Right. I did spend time on the live that night with Tiffany or Bells asking questions about it. What did you mean? What, you know, and look, Andy did not go over there and give children drugs to be like.
But people are saying that they had sent the Wells kids to get it. That's what they're saying. Now, see, you made me go a fucking different direction on this than what I wanted to. Because I'm not here to call out contradictions in what fucking people are saying. All right? That is not my job. I really don't know what my job is, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to, it's not my place to believe you or not believe you. If anything, a lot of things you said, I believe you. But don't come over here acting like that I was talking about your cancer or, you know, saying that you're using shit. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. So maybe like you said about Marlena and her saying that you told her that Fred was something to do with her kid, and you said, well, you know, did you hear the whole context of it? You know, maybe you need to go back and hear what I said, because I wasn't talking about you, girl. I don't fucking know. How am I? Y'all, I don't live there. I don't live with none of these people. Had never even talked to any of these people. You're the first person, Jody, that I ever had a conversation with that was inserted into Summer's case, period. So that's right. Thank you, Debbie. We had a conversation and that was the end of it for me. Can I take some of the things that you said and, you know, use them as educational statements? Absolutely, I can. But if you think that I'm going to run all over YouTube and find out where Jody contradicted herself, no, ma'am, I don't have time for that. So,
like, oh, I'm sneaky, so people can. It's not what I meant. My concern was with like C and D, what they would get up to, even with weed, which does have sedative effects. And to this day, I don't know what all Andy and them could have been doing. I mean, you know, it's like I didn't know until after all this has went down that Candace Senior even got pills. But apparently Andy, who came online, did.
right.
It's like, what the hell? So that tells you that, you know. And then
well,
I realized,
basically what Jody's saying, in my opinion, because I give my opinion over here, is that she didn't know things that Andy knew. And when Andy came out on social media and talked about these things, she was kind of surprised because she didn't know these things. Now, I will say this again. Jody says, and it makes sense, she was a neighbor. She had a certain level of knowing and, you know, certain amount of info on her level. But then again, there were other levels, like she said with Marlena. Marlena did different things at 110 Ben Hill Road. So that would put Marlena as a, you know, on another need to know basis. Does that make sense? Just because Marlena was up there doing whatever they say she was up there doing, doesn't mean that Jody was aware of all of that. Just because she was a neighbor doesn't classify her as knowing everything that happened over there. Does that make sense?
oh, fuck shit he's up to, whatever. But otherwise, in the community at the time and hiding, and obviously he is what he is, so they do a lot of that. But no, not in any way was he actually going over there and giving a little bit, like what they've made.
And I want to know how Andy knew that Grandma had pills over there. How did Andy know that, right? Because the only person that I heard say anything about Grandma having anything like that is, if I remember correctly, Benny Key said he seen the bottle on the kitchen table, I think. And it had the June 15th date on it, if I remember correctly. Benny, I wish you could come back on social media because you could tell me if I'm right or not. But that's what I remember. Other than that, I don't know anything about what went on at 110 Ben Hill Road. As I will say again, didn't live there, don't live there, don't know anybody from there.
Made it seem, which is he was going to give in the little girls cities to have them or had knowledge of it. I've always been the way that, you know, like weed, and obviously look at Don going, oh, well, I gave the boys weed. Dudley's like, oh, they smoke, la la. That's still, and it's for because he said the one was too hyper, whatever the hell it was. And it's like, bro, no.
Hey, Chris.
That's still, you're giving them weed or whatever to calm them down. We all know that if weed has a sedative effect on you all as adults,
right?
You know, calms you down. Look at what it can do to a kid. That ain't cool. Right. And then if Candace and Dawn are choosing to use that on any children, then that's on Candace and Dawn.
Yes. Now it was reported, and you have to say hearsay. Dudley said Dawn was letting the oldest one smoke. I don't know if that's true. I couldn't tell you. Right? No, Chris, I would not. No. No, if I ever had a conversation with Benny behind the scenes, it would not be for YouTube ears. I would not do that to Benny. He's not allowed to be on social media. I would not do that to him whatsoever. There, you know, no, I'm not that person. Somebody else might be, but I'm not that person. Now, yes, because it was said, I think Dudley said it, right? The real question is, how long have you and Jody Sue? Oh, we've been romantically involved for a long time. Thank you for asking. Yeah. What? I never said Jody Sue was the one I wanted to talk to. When did I say that? So, maybe I did say that. I don't know. What fucking business is it of yours? Why do you care? Why do you care? For real. Why do you care what I do on my own fucking channel? Why do you care? Why would you give a fuck? I want to know. Tell me why you give a fuck what I do on my channel or who I talk to. Right? For real. I'll wait. I got all day. I'll wait for you. Why do you care? Do you care about Remain Calm? Do you? Why don't you give me a cash app for wasting my fucking time? You fucking scumbum. Go back over in your little scumbum community. How about that? Because I ain't got time for your shit. Oh, thank you, Debbie. So, anywho, like I said, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. Do you guys think I live my life? Do you honestly think that Remain Calm lives her life really giving a motherfuck what any of you scumbums think about me? Do you really? Well, you need to get a life. You need to get a fucking hobby because I don't give a fuck about you. How about that? Not at all. I don't give a fuck about your skank ass fucking being accused of touching kids. I don't give a fuck about your fucking good buddy talking about Summerwell's head being in a motherfucking box. You all are fucking disgusting. So I don't need you to come over here and waste my fucking time giving your opinion that isn't wanted. How about that? How about that? And yes, I like Jody. I don't give a fuck what you say. I do like Jody. Why wouldn't I like Jody? I bet Jody don't like you. I bet Jody don't like you. Is that what it is? Oh my God, I'm the one is jealous. You are jealous. Jody, this person wants your attention. Right.
But me, it was a trigger point because, and I say in that piece they play over and over again, I'm like, when shit went down. But I know what I meant was when it was like the last days and minutes and hours
Right.
around.
Right. I
By
get it.
months later, when shit
Right.
went down between us,
Right.
that's when I found out about
What?
certain
Yeah.
things. But
Right.
at the time, it's like, but yeah, they spent all that night questioning me. I made it very clear, meant weed only, blah, blah, blah. Chose wrong, right? And then Chasing gets up on Tiffany's. And Tiffany's like, no, Chasing, it's been clarified, all this. And then Chasing spins it in his room, and then she wraps herself in it, and they make him believe and it's just like, it's goofy. If
Right.
ever I thought he was over there like sedating, and that's the thing, he never hung out like that. He was only ever for a couple.
She's telling you Andy didn't hang over there like that. I remember Jody came out one time and said, I'm tired of having to be defensive about Andy. So we know her and Andy's relationship. We know what he did to her. We know that there was a lot of horrible DV going on. So why would she lie about what she meant with Andy and the substances, or however she put it, right? What Jody is not lying. I'm sorry. I don't see Jody lying. Everything she has said so far. But I'm not you guys. If you don't believe it, don't fucking believe it. If you're not interested in the conversation to use it, to learn from it, then get the fuck out of here, because you're wasting my time. You're wasting my time.
Minutes or something at a time. You think, like, and
Well,
so it's like,
yeah, I think a lot of people just, have their own perception, and like you said, a lot of times people don't look at the context of what anybody's saying. They just jump to hearing a specific thing, and they don't see what.
They also want to one that around. You gotta think that fit right into their bullshit, and it played right into their hands. The script job they've been doing long before public, and knew how it was being fed out to McDonough and others, and all these critters that were hunting us even before public. And it's fed right into their shit, and it was part of it. It's like, why bring out an abuser? Andy's only purpose here has always been to really essentially to abuse us vicariously
Right.
through online and to screw with me and to get me to shut up.
Right.
And that's how it is. And for people to watch him abuse online and get paid for it and to help him do it.
Well,
And
he came right out.
So, and it very much obviously hurt, bothered me. It still does, as you can see.
Well, I'm sure you're a fucking human being.
It's like, look at him looking for Layla. How dare he? And with Ryan, who knows what Andy's done, look at all the proof I've put out of what he is. Look at him in his own words saying, yeah, I did worse to your sister than just splitting her face open to the bone and shoving the teeth through her chin and lips. I did worse. Yeah, he did. How much work?
I mean, he came out. Let me tell you guys something. If you don't think watching someone who you had a DV relationship with, knowing how she says that her children were treated, how she was treated, and all of that stuff, if you can't at least a little bit take into consideration how she feels watching. Thank you, September Virgo. Thank you so much. Thank you, girl. Thank you. I appreciate you. Really, I do. You're going to make me cry. That makes it worth it. It really does. Critters hunting them before public. I don't know what you mean, Danny. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. Hey, Exploited. Hey, May May. May May's my girl. I see May May. I always smile, May May. I'm smiling and waving, May May. I love May May. May May's been around forever. Forever. She really has. Hey, Wee. So, I mean, come on, you guys. Let's use this for educational purposes. Why can't we do that? You guys know me. I always mess with trolls when they come in because they say stupid shit, right? I may have said I would have a conversation with Jody, but who the fuck cares? Who cares? You guys never seen me running out there trying to call Candace or Dawn and have conversations with them. Now, I almost did Candace one time, and I didn't because I was like, I really don't want to do this. And I hung the phone up, and I never tried to call him back again. Absolutely not. That is what Jody said. What she meant. That this is the thing with Jody talking to me, and I do appreciate Jody talking to me, because this is what I don't understand. Why can't we take this and learn from it? Why do we have? Why are people so determined that I need to take my channel and use it to discredit anyone at all? I don't need to do that. I don't need to discredit anybody. And that's not what I do over here. So, Jody, you may be mad at me, but I wasn't talking about your doctor. I wasn't talking about your oncologist. That was just a overall statement about some people. That's how the oncologists and stuff do it. I didn't say you were using anything at all. Or did you get mad when I said that everybody should just have a CVS party and everybody go to CVS at the same time and just piss on the stick, make a party out of it? I don't know. I don't know, Jody. I don't know, girl. And admitted to some of the stuff he did. He came out and said, I did things I wasn't proud of, that type of.
She wants to like soak his soul in bleach for the rest of eternity, but he makes it listen, of course.
My thing with that is I couldn't understand how all of them people, and I'm not going to call them a clique, I'm not going to call them a team. I don't know. I never really followed any of the people that Jody might mention. I really didn't, because my interest in Summer Wells's case was with Summer. Did I see myself a lot of the buck shit that was going on behind the scenes? I mean, I didn't personally see it, but I seen how a lot of it played out and stuff like that. And it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I don't think that anyone would want that to happen to them. And the problem is, a lot of times if a creator, and I'm not talking about a specific creator, and so let's not talk about creators in my chat, but they would run a certain narrative. And It is out there. You can find it to see. There were many things that Jody said that it would be used as a specific narrative, right? So, okay, September Virgo. Yeah, I know. I think we're going to get rain today too. It's pretty cool outside.
But I've still never shown the world all the proof recordings, all of, but we did much worse.
Right.
And when you got a man that's caused me surgeries and tissue death across my body, it's taken months to get bruises to go down. How bad do you think?
That's horrible. Trigger warning.
I can
imagine.
But we need to be looking for Layla, who's probably a victim of,
right,
of a man's hands somehow, or drugs. And for her to have a little, man, I can't sick. And for Ryan and him to know what he is and to have him out looking for her, or that even seem remotely okay to Andy is just.
And I don't care what anybody says. When you're in a domestic violence situation with your partner or your spouse, and you are treated a certain way, then they leave you. They go marry somebody else who has children. They treat this other person differently. They treat their kids, I'm sure Jody would probably say better than he ever treated her own kids. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Jody in that sense. Do you know how hurtful that is? Because a lot of times in DV relationships, you hold on and you keep putting up with it, hoping that one day things are going to be different. And then they're not different. And I will always, always know how that feels. And I'm sure a lot of us do know how it feels. But I've seen so much of people not caring about Jody's feelings at all. It's there. You can see it. People calling her names and calling her a liar. And like I said, I'm not here to contradict what she says. I'm not into that. I ain't got time for that shit. Anybody else want to do it, feel free to fucking do it. But that's not why I was having a conversation with her at all. Yeah, I get it.
Wrong. It's wrong. He has no business out there looking for other women or, their mom.
But I think it's the, I'm sure he's making money off of it. And he is making money. And I'm sure he's making money off of it.
Yeah. And every time he does, everybody's like,
and how come nobody found it weird that Andy Bernard could take Ryan and drive around in that hauler and show Ryan every little back road in that hauler? Now, is it weird? Probably not. He grew up there. Andy grew up there. But, I mean, hey, back pocket, right? Agree with Jody about all these RSO and women beaters participating in helping women and children. Thank you, Danny. That is very true. That is very true. A lot of these people came out as victims advocates. I'm not saying they're not victims advocate, because if you advocate for women and children, I don't know how you could be the ones that were doing things that had anything to do with Jody. And Jody knows all about that stuff. I know a little bit only because, behind the scenes, I was kind of paying a little bit of attention to some things that was going on. But weird shit.
Drives across state line to whatever, he's out in town buying something, he's over here, and everybody's like, what drugs you on day, monster? He's like, oh, smashing some shrooms, some pills. Like, even with Ryan over in the car, he's like,
oh my
and
God.
it's like, bro, your teeth flying, young, like, fuck right off this shit.
Wow.
And that one over there will allow him to do it, so he's real happy. Me, I'm the stick up the ass. It's like, no, bro, even weed's bad enough. I don't want to be running you high every day. Don't be doing.
And I don't care what anybody says. Anytime I've watched Jody, I can tell she's not fucking stoned. I mean, and you know, if somebody is smoking a little bit of weed, who fucking cares? Who cares? I'm not saying Jody does. I'm not. For real. I'm not going to sit up here and say Jody's doing anything. I'm not fucking doing it. He needs to pay his child support, period. Yes, I agree, September Virgo. I agree with that. If you owe child support, fucking pay the child support. If you're getting paid from YouTube or helping somebody, you know, drive around the area and look, take some of that and pay the child support to your daughter. I agree with that. Absolutely.
And so now he's got one that'll let him wild the fuck out on whatever, and no moral compass in the least. And like, I'm just whatever, bro. Good for you all, match made now, you know. But
Marlena, what do you mean it's not Fed? It's FBI. FBI is the
I did
Federal
go back a
Bureau
little
of
bit.
Investigation. So what do you mean
I
it's not
apologize.
Fed? Huh? You guys did hear.
you think Marlena and her cornbread ties would know what Fed and Feds mean? That's federal. Federal, Marlena. Is it federal charges, federal conspiracy, federal tampering with witnesses, federal blah, blah, blah. You know, that type of shit. Marlena. FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation.
And like I said, I apologize. I probably went back too far today. Because I'm trying to figure out where I ended off on this yesterday. But I promise when I do part 4, I'll go in and make sure that I start it right where I ended it.
The feds, the FBI. Yeah.
Okay, let me come up here because I think we may have. Let's go up to this part.
Just sell that too. I mean, like,
what do you
in that religion in particular? I find it pretty gross.
Do you I thought that there was some of that shit that's weird to me, Jody, about that church.
I mean, they're on the suspect list, you know, as close as y'all ever get to one. These creators didn't want you to hear. Ansley does indeed give out technically a suspect list year 2.
She absolutely does, and it's got Ainsley
Don,
Daniel,
Candace,
Grandma.
It goes Don and Candace, and then it goes members of the church who's close to, and then it says Candace, even outward onto other family members. Then it says neighbors, which is a pretty broad term.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I find it weird. I don't think Ansley minced words. I don't think she come out and just pulled that out for no reason. But this place made people ignore it and not see it. And now,
I've got a bunch of clips of Andy from CSI, Crowdsource Illuminated. I got a bunch of clips of Andy Bernard. Too bad, Andy. I'm not playing them, and I'm not playing. What do you think? This, Jody, this clip is titled "The Devil and Don Wells." Hold on, you got to see this. Oh, this is where Don is. I got weird ass. Weird ass clips. Looking like he's talking to the. A bunch of clips he was preaching, and his eyes rolled up in the back of his head. So that's what I'm showing.
Oh wait, I don't know.
Say a prayer and I'll close and get off here.
Now he had been praying for 20 minutes.
Anyways, I'll pray and
watching.
Dear Lord God,
we
thank you for these truths. We thank you for the understanding of how Revelation and Daniel.
Watch out! His eyes roll up into his head.
How it unlocks Daniel, and I'm at a loss for words.
He's at a loss for words.
Y'all ever notice how he's stuck on certain Bible stuff that?
Oh, the Revelation, but that's
Well,
part of the SDA teaching. That's all Book of Revelations, right?
certain characters he initially stuck to at first for those like lions there, those who have been locked or caged away and things, and that really bothers me.
Right.
You know, it does.
Right.
I don't like it. And I'm gonna Cam and Mike out for a minute while you play that.
Okay. Here, I'll play it again.
Please. I guess it's all right. I'll say a prayer and I'll
This is
close.
Dawn finishing up these SDA teachings.
But anyways, so anyways, I'll pray. And dear Lord God, we thank you for these truths. We thank you for the understanding of how.
Now, just to kind of explain to you a little bit of what went on here. So, Cher come over and was up on my panel, and she was talking about the adoptions through the SDA church, which is really interesting. It is interesting. If you want to watch it, go check out Cher's. She's got it over there somewhere. And so here come Don Wells. Well, I knew that all it was going to be if I allowed him up on my panel was arguing and fighting with Cher. I already knew that that's what was going to transpire. He would not have asked, he wouldn't have answered any of my questions. It was only going to be to fight with her. I don't need to hear fucking people fighting at all. And so Cher went back to her channel and Don went to his. And I don't know what channel it was, but Don decided he was going to go back to his channel and he was going to preach some SDA doctrine stuff. Well, he started out with a shirt on, and by the time he ended, he is exactly like you see him now. No shirt on and, you know, all that stuff.
Revelation and Daniel, how it unlocks Daniel, and I'm at a loss for words. Please forgive me. But we pray, Lord, we pray for help in understanding these things, where things are just getting so bad in the United States and the world. It ain't like the earth, like it says in there, the United States was like a lamb. It's getting far from the Christian lamb type atmosphere it used to be.
Wow. That's kind of weird, right? I mean, I'm taking his picture up here. I don't want to see it. Let's stop sharing that. You think the name tripped him up? Well, I mean, to me, he went into what's happening with the world. A lot of times, if you, I don't know if I've ever heard him anytime in prayer talk about summer missing. Now, I will tell you guys, there is a live, I believe it's on the Don Wells family stuff with Tim Mullins, where Tim Mullins is allegedly asking him questions. Yes, that is on the Don Wells family channel or something. It's an interview that Tim Mullins set up with Don Wells. And, you know, like I think there's a couple parts to it. I have always said, Sassy Pants, you can, you don't, how do you know anything? Where you been? That's when I threw Sassy Pants. How do you know?
My nose, it's a Red Bull.
Oh, Lord, Jody Sue, hold on. That's so stupid. We are going to put her in timeout because I can. And you know what? I'm going to say this too. I'll use her as an example. So this is what happened. You had people who, knew the Wells 30 years ago. So they come out and they say all these horrible things about the Wells, and how they lived and things that they did that was nefarious and all this other shit. Well, for some reason, these people that decided they were going to come out and say these things, they never thought that they're putting themselves in the same circumstances as what they're saying about the Wells. So then when people were like, well, wait a minute, you were there, blah, 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 these people didn't like it. These people didn't like it. And, I wasn't there. I don't know. I was not there. I personally do not know any of the characters in the Summer Wells case. I don't. He looked like he was having a hard time that night, Danny. Don always came out and he would be very angry if someone spoke about the church or Robin Lane. He didn't like that. I've never really heard him, say anything about people who talked about Tim Mullins. But if somebody talked about the church or Robin Lane, he was not happy about that at all. Brandon's charges were against his girlfriend. When Brandon finally turned his age when the mom charged him. What Brandon are they talking about? Brandon Clark?
I don't know.
I don't know. She's talking about another freaking problem. If you come into chat and you start speaking somebody's name to say something about someone, you have to realize there are 30 fucking people with the same name in surrounding Summer's case. We've got Brandons, we got Billy's, we got Andy's, we got Fred's, we got Frank's, we got you name it. So you got to kind of specify who you're talking about, because I'm not psychic. I don't claim to be psychic. Some Brandon.
Sassy Pants, what do you mean? Only reason I'm back out here. Remain? Did I leave?
Did I go? As a matter of fact, I timed her out for 10 minutes.
Like, are y'all like, wait, hold on. What?
That's so stupid.
Did I leave? Did I take a vacation?
I didn't see you ever go anywhere. You've always been around.
I've been here. I've been doing lives, as a matter of fact, but I love the narratives.
Yeah.
The reason I'm back out here. No, I'm not out here to silence anybody. I've been saying let's talk, let her talk. Maybe eventually they'll break her down and create a Marlena Said channel. You know?
Phoebe Australia said Sassy Pants take Beth Ann and piss off. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. The thing about it is, I'm not going to sit over here.
Pants, ain't that Lisa? Is that Lisa Key? One of them.
No, that's Lisa Jaton. Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah, there's one of them. It's one of the Lisas. I remember it.
Oh, you know what, Lisa? You do that every time. She's like, it wasn't me. It was a troll using my name. Lisa, we know you troll. We know you got a troll account. Okay. He looked like, yeah.
Ain't that the one that was supposedly doing the fuck shit in the hotel, but also the one that Ogre and all them? Ain't that one?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So she has something to say about me, but she was running amok with Dawn and children and shit. Or supposedly,
yeah, weird shit. Yeah,
weird. She got something to say about other people. Okay,
and I have to agree. I mean, y'all are very opinionated about other people, and then you're not happy when people start being opinionated about you. I'm just saying. That is everywhere on YouTube.
All right.
Yep, I tell her that all the time, Jody. Nobody ever listens to me. Nope, nobody
How
ever
much champagne you use days?
Yes. Hey, I'm going to ask you, since I have you here, what in the fuck do you think of Tim Mullins? Is he just a weird fucker or what?
I don't like that phone. He has really said outright that he's targeting me for the wills, and then you have when Don came up on PGs, he was making sure I got the hint wink nod that it was him and Tim having us targeted like they were everybody else.
Wow.
That are witnesses or anything.
And let me tell you guys something. Tim Mullins is next. Tim Mullins is next. I talked about Tim Mullins before, and I have showed everybody things that made me go, huh? Things that make you go, who? And, but I haven't really gotten into him per se so much as I have with everybody else. He is next on my list. Tim Mullins.
It's all right, Don and Tim. But yeah, I think Tim is one weird.
He's a weird dude.
And I think he's gotten up to a lot of things that I'd hope are prosecutable in Summer's guy.
Yeah. Yes, I really think they need to look into that stuff, because I mean, the guy, my red flags went up immediately on that guy. Immediately.
I don't like him. I know that much.
The thing about it is, there's so many different stories, you don't know what to believe. He said he met Don for the first time at a vigil, and he even walked right by and didn't know who he was. Yes, he did. Don got up on, I think it was Smiley's panel, and said that he met him flying gyrocopters or something.
Right. And I don't think they ever want to give the true way they...
I guess, are they gyrocopters? I guess I shouldn't call them gyrocopters. That sounds pretty fucking weird, doesn't it? YouTube is all opinions, September Virgo. It is all opinions. But, I mean, you got to watch out when you're trying to call other people out, because your story is going to come out too. For sure.
Connected or whatever, but obviously Tim was coming in right for Summer Vantage too. I have pictures that match a lightning that only happened on a certain day that he has, which shows he was in there hunting us down, or at least around in some capacity. You know, he's made, I don't know what his agenda is, but he damn sure has one of this. And then him trying, you remember that time he tried it, wasn't it Michael's case? He was trying to Brandy and him, and Josh was like, fuck off. Brandy sends a FU too. Like, exactly. That's the last dude. Look what he does over there. That wouldn't be my meteor manager or my spokesman.
Right.
That's
what I said too, because I mean, I remember it was something upset about Candace told him she didn't want anything to do with him, and Don was in jail, and he was like, well, that's too bad, because that's my best friend's wife. And now Candace didn't personally say that to him. Now she might have, I don't know, but I do know that someone who at that time that was friendly with Candace, and possibly still could be friendly with Candace, I don't know, gave that message to Tim Mullins. And it was really weird, because his reply was like, that's my best friend's wife. I'm going to handle things the way, I'm like, the guy's fucking weird. That's what people do, is keep an eye out or some shit. I was like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Weird.
Yes. But hearing him, like, you remember hearing him on the phone calls with Benny, where he was like, oh, we're, you know, he didn't really believe him either this year, and he thought they were guilty, but he was like, we're just going to run, and, you know, until they hang themselves, basically. But then also he's over being like, Benny, we're blocking and bashing and trying to get highway runs.
Yep, you're absolutely. I never could understand why Tim Mullins was advocating for individuals to run interference with some other individuals on YouTube. And I have the whole conversation transcribed. So I can go back and tell you word for word what was said between Benny and Tim Mullins on one of the phone calls that I knew that they had. And Tim Mullins was like, oh, well, just let it play out. Just let it play out. And I'm like, what are we letting play out? That didn't make any sense. Absolutely right. That's what I seen too.
Whoa. So
That's
you're
exactly what I seen.
You're willing to maybe get potential, even if they are Arnie's killed, to trigger him, get him run down the internet, all the things, and to protect and do whatever you got to do, and to attack Jody Sue and everybody put up what? And but then you're also like, well, you know how they are. And then he was talking to Benny about how sick it was listening to Candace and Dawn get off and enjoy the torment of online and witnesses and this area they were targeting.
Right.
And he enjoyed it, and he found that sick how much they enjoyed it. But just to let him keep speaking it out. I'm like, pick a lane, dude. Pick a lane.
Well, that's the thing. Most of them don't pick a lane. It's all over the freaking place. Look, I'm not getting nobody's IP address. Forget it. See you later, girl. I thought I gave her a break on my channel.
And Jody Sue wasn't the one who ran with Candace when Summer vanished?
That's so stupid. She was her neighbor. It doesn't mean she ran with her.
No, she's saying that ran with Candace. Is she saying like I took off from out of area or mean what?
I don't know what the fuck she's trying to say.
Girl, you were in sheds with whales.
Hey, Poppy.
Doing weird shit with kids. Fuck right off.
Bye, Lisa. See you around. She fucking cracked me. I will tell you one thing she did that cracked me up. Nancy Grace had an assistant, and he was arrested for communicating with children or some shit. And I get this fucking picture, and it's like, do you think that's a certain creator with a monkey? I'll say. And I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to know? So I ended up telling her to ask Nancy Grace. But then I turn around and look, and this person is up on a certain creator's panel that has a fucking monkey. And I'm like, why are you trying to? That always got me. Why, behind the scenes, y'all run around and try to find out fuck shit about somebody, but then y'all go up on their panels and stuff. It's like, if you're buddies with them and you go up on their panel and shit, why are you trying to demean their character behind the scenes? Right? So that was my response. Get a hold of Nancy Grace. I swear he was a pallbearer for G. Bernard, so they all know Tim. I don't know. I would have to see the article that names him as a pallbearer. I would have to see that. Bust shit out. I don't know. That's just the way them people are. That's just the way they are.
This place is wild, man.
It is fucking crazy. So I had to give her a break from my channel. Yes, I did. Actually, I thought she was blocked anyway. I must have never blocked her.
Man, somebody been releasing all mine from the box somehow by hacking in my account, doing weird stuff. They be doing all the things.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, that's a really good example because, you know, she came out and was telling everybody about living in this shed and Dawn and Candace doing weird shit and Dawn and Pam doing weird shit. And she did. Everybody there was doing weird shit. And then when people started calling her out and, you know, twisting what she was saying, making it into negative things, she didn't like that. No. But yet she does it. Yes.
You know, well, if you think about it, Sassy, you know, like they started over on PGs, really.
Right.
Right. Yeah. One of the worst things always come are built from PG and Z. Share.
I haven't watched. Let me tell you, I haven't watched it. The last time I watched Ziggy is when she was showing those emails to TBI and stuff, and I was like, that just, I couldn't fucking believe that.
I hear.
Well, what, Danny? That would be where? The Hawkins County Gazette. You would have to pull up his obituary to know that. So that's where you would have to find it probably, or if it's somewhere in the funeral home, somewhere on their site maybe. I don't know. I figured they all knew each other. I mean, because let me say this. Who in their right mind meets someone and within a couple months, they're your best friend, right? That's what he said. Him and Dawn are best friends. Well, Dawn thinks Tim's his best friend, but who does that within a couple months? They become best friends. Freaking weird, right? Rogersville Review. Oh, okay, Danny. Yeah, Rogersville Review. Thank you.
She's semi-retired, whatever, but I know her afraid of trying to build up the
me.
TikTok. They're trying to pull Doug right now.
Oh, TikTok stuff.
What I heard. That's what I heard, so I can't testify to it. That's what I heard.
Right.
Maybe they'll become life coaches too, like Doug and MG.
I don't know, Gino, and I'm not going to get into people losing their freaking kids. You know, that's all over YouTube. There's a lot of people I see that lose their freaking kids that want to come out and talk shit about other women that's lost their kids. Yes, they do. It's just like, what the fuck? Yep. You know, Jody ain't lost her kids. She knows where her kids are at.
I think Gene Ellen's
she does.
Maybe or something.
She might be. I don't know. I don't want to guess.
Even them is
there's too many of. Oh, Cam and Allie. Oh, I don't know what happened with Cam and Allie.
And look, even with them, it's like I knew they were falsely targeting my kids, and for reason putting out narratives.
Yeah, why were they doing that?
And and none of it made sense. There was always proof. Even Candace and I going, yeah, that wasn't her kid, and he even had permission to be anywhere anyway. But it was Pam Tate and Pam Sanchez and Amy Tate, who you can see tweaking before the boys are even taken on WJHL. I've told y'all for longest that even for months after there, they were tweaking their asses off over it.
Lillian, I'm not getting off on Dawn's picture. I'm not one of them who maybe you were that hung out on the channels that was showing Dawn's balls and shit over and over and over. Were you one of those people? I'm just asking. People did that. People. That was just a troll that was in chat, you guys.
I didn't know they were doing that. I'm like,
yeah, I wasn't there. I only knew about it one time, but I'm sure that, Lillian here probably was hanging out with one of those channels that just put it on loop so they could just look at it.
See, I heard there'd been a slippage of parts, but I never seen it. I don't ever want to see it. So y'all just keep that one real mad.
Yeah, right.
Who would want?
Believe me, I didn't play that on my channel. I mean, the thing about it is, I don't remember playing it. Well, anyway. I don't. Yes, everybody's a person of interest, but the thing about it is, Jody ain't hiding anywhere. Jody ain't hiding. She's right here.
Man, she's hoping that everyone becomes retired on the summer's close, so she
you don't spend any time in jail.
That makes sense to you.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Like, I'm hoping YouTubers become retired like Ziggy, so I don't spend time. Bro, they ain't it. Look, I'm sitting right here, and Elliot said to where I'm sitting. I know Ziggy and all the drive-by videos in the Doxton, but get this, they're not the deciders of that, and I ain't running nowhere.
Well, that's what I said, because, when, Jody, I'm telling you, a long time ago, when you were like, yep, I talked to law enforcement, and I'm not putting out here what I talked to law enforcement about. Absolutely. I was like, that tells me a lot.
Like this morning, it started off with calls going, like, yeah, I'm so terrified. And if one day, because of Andy's fucks or anything else, they want to fucking arrest, I don't give a shit. I'm sitting right here, man. As long as it means justice for Summer or whatever, and everybody, yeah, of course.
That matters.
You can about guarantee they're going to come along at some point and sweep out Beach Creek and all the drug shit and anything related or social. You know what I mean? They're going to do that.
What did you think? And like I said, I've never sat down and had a conversation. What do you think that Lawson meant when he talked about the area not being, a drug area?
I don't know. I don't think, wasn't that he was lying or anything. It's just that it's no more than any other place. Right. It's just it's got more focus on it. It's on a magnifier. But if you have any of these areas, especially right off the interstate corridors, along
right,
you're going to have that. And right now, it's not just across the U.S.; it's across the world. Everybody
Right.
has a problem. Just because the spotlight's here on this one doesn't mean it's any more involved in any other area of the
Right.
country than
Right.
it is probably one of the direct drops off of,
Yeah, she's never, as far
Oxycontin
as I
highway
know.
type travel, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
so I
that is
don't
an area for it.
yeah, we don't have a
But people didn't want to hear that. A long time ago, when Jody said, there's information that will not be put out on YouTube by me that I have spoke with law enforcement about. People didn't hear what she said, or they didn't care that she said that. To each their own.
road problem or anything. Clearly there's one, but there's one across the entire U.S. and the corridors are all lit up with certain drop points. And so in that way, it's no different than anywhere else.
Right.
So, you know.
What do you mean, Danny? She's talked about the area. She's talked about individuals that she knows of from the area. She's talked about many things, but I can't tell you what information that she has that she talked to law enforcement about, because I'm not psychic and I don't live in other people's heads. And this is the thing. If I'm living in somebody's head, then that's not good. I do not want to be living in anybody else's fucking head. You know what I mean?
And then because of the magnifying focus and the script writing summers and the
Mama
dragging in of this one and that name and black.
Hey, I got your notification, Mama Bear. I just hadn't had a chance to look at it yet, but I will. I promise I will.
Families and making them afraid, having them colorblind. I mean, like, you've got a mess, so it makes it look more profound and more this and more that. Makes better content.
All about well, my thing with Dawn was, and this is just my opinion, I couldn't figure out why, because there at first, I mean, you have never claimed, like you said, guilt on any of them. You've never said, oh, I know so-and-so's guilty or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard nothing. I've actually said even on face when he was like, "Oh, you're jealous of me, so you took my daughter." I'm like, "What the fuck out of motives?"
Yeah, that's fucking weird. I don't know why he said weird
shit
like
that. They put up on everybody, right? Hell, they even blame.
Yeah, Candace did that. I think with Smiley too. But this is the way that I seen that, and this is just me, right? I know, me too, September Virgo. I got too many of me in my own head. I can't have nobody else in there. But this is what, if I remember that correctly, hold on, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Okay, hold on.
Right. I mean, yeah,
that's
of course,
all that matters.
You could about guarantee they're going to come along at some point and sweep out Beach Creek and all the drug shit and anything related or associated. I mean, you know what I mean?
What the fuck was I
that.
What did you think? And like I said, I've never sat down and had a conversation. What do you think that Lawson meant when he talked about the area not being, a drug area? And you guys pull up if you get a chance. I'm not going to do it for you anymore because it's in my freaking Summerwell's content somewhere. The way that Lawson said, the way that he talked about that area being a heavy substance area, he stated that it's a dead-end street. It's a dead-end street. And the way that he said that made my mind go to, oh, so a lot of that problem could have been in the areas before you got to the dead-end street. Okay, because look, we had Fred Hill doing his thing, right? We allegedly had individuals going to different areas and, paying for a huge amount of substances and you know, that being taken back to the holler, and you know, it was like a freaking party when that would happen, and it was distributed to everybody in the holler. That's, I have to say allegedly, but that's what they were saying. So, I mean, I kind of took Lawson's words maybe a little bit different than everybody else did when they heard that interview. But please, I believe it's on WJHL if you want to see it. If I can find it, I'll put the link in. But I'm a lazy bitch, okay? I really am. I hardly ever get things put on my community page, and I hardly ever put things on my Facebook group page. But you guys join the Facebook group and put in there what you want. That's what it's for. It's for you guys. Put in there what you want. If you have a case you're interested in, please feel free to put it in there. You know, if there's a missing child, feel free to, you know, post that in there. The only thing that I ask is about the same thing that I ask on my channel. Please don't use my Facebook group to bicker and fight and say mean things to people. That's not what it's there for. But please check it out. Go have some fun with it. Fucking put some jokes on there.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think what that he was lying or anything. It's just that it's no more than any other place.
Right.
It's just it's got more focus on it. It's on a magnifier. But if you have any of these areas, especially right off the interstate corridors along
Right.
you're going to have that. And right now, it's not just across the U.S., it's across the world. Everybody
Right.
has a problem. Just because the spotlight's here on this one doesn't mean it's any more involved in any other area of the country than
Right.
it is one of the direct drops off of, you know, Oxycontin highway type travel, you know. But
Yeah. I mean,
so I
that
don't
is an area for it.
yeah, I think we don't have a drug problem or anything. Clearly there's one, but there's one across.
How many people, seriously, if you're in the bushes, come into chat. I want you to tell me what is factual information that we have learned in Summer's case. I've been spewing it since I started my channel. There is so much hearsay and making up fibs for content and just blatantly putting out false information in Summer's case that what do we know? What do we really know? That Summer's still missing. Absolutely, Mama Bear. Absolutely.
The entire U.S. and the corridors are all lit up with certain drop points. And so in that way, it's no different than anywhere else.
Right. And I'm going to say this. If you have ever been in a conversation with someone, even behind the scenes, about Summer or anything else, and that person gets proven to be a liar, whether it doesn't matter what they are proven to be a liar of. If they are proven to be a liar, what does that do with any information that they might have told you about the Summer Wells case? What's it tell you? I mean, so that kind of takes that information, and you're like, well, okay, well, do we believe that or not? Yes, Vanna. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. What do you mean, Danny? Why would they panic about Oh, you mean literal outsiders, as in not law enforcement, right? Let me tell people, and thank God I don't know how parents of a missing child feel or how they should feel. I've never had to experience that, thank God. But law enforcement probably would have said to the parents of a missing child, watch who you let on your property. Do you guys know that at any time, if someone took Summer, at any time, they could have went back on 11 and a half acres of property and put any evidence that they wanted? Anybody ever think about that? Wouldn't it be easy for someone, if they did take that little girl? That's 11 and a half acres. Most people see the property that the house is sitting on. Anyone could take anything that they wanted and put it on that property. But they weren't turned away, Danny. Who did they turn away? Who did Dawn and Candace keep from searching for Summer? The only place that Dawn and Candace can allow people to search or not is on their own property. So, what verified organization was turned away? EquiSearch was there. There were thousands and thousands of searchers. There was aircraft, and I mean helicopters. So, what organization, and please name them. Please name them for me. What verified organization was ever kept from searching for Summer? Are you talking about when Lawson finally, I believe, told EquiSearch that, you know, it was not just Dawn and Candace? Who's them? I don't know who them are. Takes their own credibility like it has on a lot of these creators that's out there right now. It's sad, isn't it? It's so sad. EquiSearch, Lawson said that they didn't need EquiSearch again. What was wrong with that? All right. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys. Go over to Duty Ron's and I can show it again. I've already showed it 1,000 times. I've showed this stuff 1,000 freaking times. So if you guys want to check out EquiSearch, please go watch Duty Ron. For real. Go watch Duty Ron. I'm actually trying to get in contact with Twyla to see if she'll come and have a conversation with me. And I've been so busy. I need to get with her. But after they searched acre upon acre upon acre, where else were they supposed to look? Only case I know search teams were asked to leave was Sebastian's. Yeah.
So, you know.
Oh.
And then because of the magnifying focus and the script writing or summers and the dragging in of this one and that name and black.
Danny, that whole conversation could have been different if you would have just said, in my opinion. Now I get it, Danny. Okay, I see your opinion. And there were a lot of people who thought that too. But I don't think, because there came a certain point when, let me say this, whether you guys believe this or not. I truly believe that if there was any new place to search, that Hawkins County would have had told EquiSearch to come on back. I truly believe that, right? Hey, Trisha. All right. Hang on, you guys. My son's going back to work.
Families and making them afraid, having them colorblind. I mean, like, you've got a mess, you know, so it makes it look more profound and more this and more that. It makes better content, you know.
Well, my thing with Dawn was, and this is just my opinion, I couldn't figure out why, because there at first, I mean, you have never claimed, like you said, guilt on any of them. You've never said, oh, I know so-and-so's guilty or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard, and I think I've actually said even on his face when he was like, "Oh, you're jealous of me, so you took my daughter." I'm like, "What the fuck kind of motive?"
Yeah, that's fucking weird. I don't know why he said weird shit like
that. They put on everybody, right? They even blame.
Yeah, Candace did that. I think with Smiley too. You know, Smiley was like, "Where's my daughter?" And Candace was like, "What'd you do with her?"
Right? And they do that.
Yeah, I could see them, you know, having a comeback like that.
On your face, I'm like, bitch, I've heard you be called guilty. Shut the fuck up. So, you know, other
well, that was the thing I couldn't understand, because he kind of immediately kind of came at you. You know, he was like, oh, she's a Jezebel, oh, this or that. And the only thing that I understood, kind of, that you had kind of said about anything you had to do with Dawn was when you really needed the help, him running you maybe to the store or
I had my car up on top of our hill, and if I tried to take it down because it was so wet and pouring rain, it would have went off and shot over the cliff.
Right.
So I just needed a ride to town to get groceries and stuff for the kids and I.
Well, I knew that you were
that's the thing. It wasn't like they were going out anyway. Okay, he was, and I gave him $20 or $30 plus I bought them Wendy's that month.
Right.
While he stayed in the car listening to him and chasing and Cher fuck up the red truck.
Yes, thank you, Jody. That is the main thing about all that I remember.
And that night is the same one where he confessed to me that he didn't do that to Jeannie and his dad. Like, I'm like,
but he did. Yeah.
No, he told me he did that night.
Oh, he did. Oh, that's right.
Because a couple of days before, he said something about the sisters and passing them at the bottom of the road. And I was like, man, I'm sorry, not sorry, but I believe him because I know enough about you to obviously.
Right.
And I believe him. And then it must have ate at him because in a little while later, obviously we're in the car ride and I'm thinking he's going to kill me because he's paying him to the phone. He's trying to do the audio on the speakers. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never making it back home again. I was just trying to get back, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit, this guy is total narcissist and looking in the pool type thing. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to listen to this interviewer and, you know, and I'm like, oh my God. But then he turns to me at the window, pals, as they're handing out food or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way.
Yes, Trisha. They are relaying info to Hawkins County. And let me tell you how I know that is because Ziggy sent a tip to the TBI tip line about a vehicle that Fred says after all this time, all these years, Fred automatically remembers he's seen a blue vehicle with tinted windows. TBI relayed that info to Hawkins County, and Detective Pruitt was so kind that he got a hold of Ziggy and was like, I need to know about this blue vehicle. there was jack squat shit said about that blue vehicle. All they wanted to do was get Pruitt on the phone so they could bring up Andy Bernard. That was it. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. It was bullshit. So why wouldn't TBI relay any other info, right? Or just Ziggy and Fred info, right?
You think that'd be a pretty heavy moment? You wouldn't just be like, oh, let me. It's almost on, but let me turn it now. Oh, the food's being handed here. Casual manner. Let me admit to, and I still at that point did not know that Jeannie was flying.
Right.
Okay, because
right.
And I had been sent up by another neighbor when it came out, the post of Trish's, and but I was still not aware that she was 5. So Don that night, what he made it like was that she was, which it didn't matter to me. I thought it was sick. Okay.
Right.
But and the explaining way was all like, oh, well, it made it sound like she was older, right? 78.
Right. Yep.
But I was like, no, you don't do that. You don't do
Right.
that. Sibling, I don't know. You know. But I knew it had been, but he brings his dad into it and says, oh, she was doing that to Dad too. And I said, and I've only heard him say it really one time, I think over on Daisy's, when he was mad at his dad.
Yeah, I did. Yes, you're right. He did say that.
Otherwise, he never puts his dad into it, but he did do that at the Pal's drive-thru.
He sure
And I
did.
thought, are you trying to make? And he was like, that stuff was done to for us. Like,
Didn't
okay.
he even get his dad on the phone and tried to get him to admit to Jeannie trying to flirt with him and all that other stuff? If I remember that correctly, yeah. He even tried to get his dad to admit to it on the phone. Hold on. I grabbed a cup of coffee, you guys. I took a moment. Let's take a moment. Let's just take a moment. I mean, this is just me and my opinion. I'm not concerned with what law enforcement is doing. You have to look at the bullshit that law enforcement has had to deal with. Look at what these people are showing us on freaking social media. I am September Virgo. For real. Look at the shit these people have shown us on social media. What do you think law enforcement has to deal with in real life? And law enforcement has to look at a lot of these situations and say, does these locals fighting amongst each other have anything to do with Summers' case? I mean, I wouldn't want that fucking job. I can tell you right now. No, thank you. Y'all drive me crazy on here. I wouldn't want a job like that. For sure, for sure. Hey, super sensible. You're super sensible. I need to write you a song. You're super sensible. I would honestly have to say yes to the answer. Sorry, not sorry. Yes to what? What are you answering? What did I ask? I forgot. I forgot, Mama. I ask too many questions. I never know what I'm talking about. For real. I had to put something in front of my door. The wind's blowing. It keeps hitting my door. Keeps hitting my door. If it's about money or if it's about drama, I don't, girl, I'm telling you. What I've seen happening within the last even month with some of these people, we do know it's going to be 4 years. 4 years coming up. And there's nothing new. Yeah, but I mean, girl, if they're making money off of it, they are going to keep it going. But there's people who like that stuff. I mean, obviously some of these creators are, know what they're doing because they are making a shitload of money. I mean, a shitload of money. You see the cash apps are flowing, and, I don't say anything about running ads either because I run ads. And I do know, it's easy for creators when they first start out to say that they're not going to monetize or anything like that. Hey, Stein Eric. How are you and the missus? Did you watch? She gave her list on a lot of stuff and told little man syndrome to kiss her ass. No, I'll have to go back and watch it. I will go watch that one. Most want her found. I think everybody wants her found, Trisha. I honestly believe everybody does want her found. It's just what they're doing to, help do that. Different narratives, different theories. They sure did end up taking the focus off Lips and Marlena's drama, didn't they? Just for a few minutes. Well, as far as that, a lot of that didn't have shit to do with Summer. That was Marlena and her family, I'll say. All of that was between Marlena and her family. I just think a lot of that, excuse me, is pretty shitty. For real. I mean, I don't know. My thing is, I don't know. I just always didn't really get into that or give my opinion or anything on that because it didn't have anything to do with Summer. And I knew for a fact that Marlena's not anybody that I ever would have had a conversation with or about. But some of these creators, I mean, they know everybody for some reason. They know freaking everybody. So it's like, I think that this is just my opinion. I think Candace actually probably introduced each other. I mean, I think they all initially met through Candace, except for a couple of them. But I think Crystal's talking about all that stuff, ain't she? Isn't Crystal talking about that stuff? Not Cold Case Crystal. Crystal's Crime Time. I don't know. Check it out. It might be interesting. He sure did.
I don't know, but it was like that night. I remember thinking, man, if I'd had this before,
and I do have to say this. Please don't think that I'm being a bitch if I sound like I'm a bitch. If I sound like I'm being a bitch. I just get very passionate when I talk about the Summer Wells case and a lot of the bullshit that went on, because that's what it was. It was a lot of bull crap. So now new people who are going to be coming into Summer's case are going to be doing what? They're going to be hearing a bunch of fucking lies. They're going to be hearing a bunch of made up shit. I would hope that we get someone very fucking intelligent who can look into it and kind of help make some sense of it and get all the fucking bullshit out. And no, I'm not going to keep ranting. I'm going to turn the video back on. Oh my God. Just hearing her. Oh yeah, on PG's. Well, I mean, that was fucking stupid. Somebody to get mad at me because I played their fucking video that they wanted me to play. Who does that? I can tell you.
this would have been like, well, there's that part I was making. It was like, well, I'd already found the son, of his, and knowing that shit usually doesn't fall far from trees. There was nothing undone. There was nothing on his day,
Right.
to give me a pattern to go by. And I mean, there was all these things. I just didn't truly know what was wrong or where or when or how. I didn't know if that was it or what was hitting my guy. I just knew someone was screaming at me. But
right.
I was digging any way I could for proof of anything, something, somewhere, and it just wasn't there. I guess enough time, unfortunately. But I would have never still thought that June 15th happened.
Right.
Nine others were speaking about it even last night. We were like, man, I wish all of us were talking about this one night. We were like, I wish that all of us had known these little things were things, right? And been sharing with each other, even though we were all coming into contact with each other's community, we didn't know to share those things with one another.
Right.
Or
What?
like, hey,
Wait.
you know what I mean?
What? I'm gonna put this here. If what I think might be going on with my debit card, it won't be pretty and I won't be nice. I have another appointment. What? 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 Girl. You just gave me a super sticker. You just gave, did you give me that? Folks done stepped off the crazy train. Are you kidding me? Wow. So are people, you just gave me a super sticker. Okay. Woo, thank you very much. I was getting ready to say. That's messed up. That is messed up. So has somebody been taking money off the card illegally? I haven't heard about it either, September, Virgo. Oh my gosh. No way. Wow, these people can get in trouble. Oh my gosh. How? I've got too many questions. You don't go on panels, do you? She's going to the bank, Debbie. She's getting ready to go to the bank. They're in trouble. Oh my gosh. See, that's the shit that goes on. And look, September Virgo's saying something about it. Do you know how many people don't say anything about it? Because they might like the creator and they don't want to get the creator in trouble. This is what I'm going to say. You find a creator or any subs that's doing fucked up shit like that to you, do not think they're not doing it to other people at the same time. I'm just saying. That's just an overall lesson in social media. That is fucking crazy. I've heard about someone used their card to pay a water bill from stole that woman's money, and the person is a creator and it was her sub. That's so sad. Yes, September. You need to take care of that, ma'am. That's horrible. Hey, Mrs. T. Look, there are a lot of giving people on YouTube, on social media, that really do have a big heart and care about people. And, I don't find anything wrong with showing a creator that you appreciate them. But I think if it ever got into, can I have your bank information? Can, here's a credit card. And, that's not right. That's not right. You're so right. They are. Yeah, they are. They are. I mean, my ass, I just tell you, if I need money, I need money. And I always need money. That's not true. That's not true. I fib to you. That was a fib. Oh, they can find out who did it, all right. They sure can. I'll tell you who calls people like that out is Tragedy Pimps Exposed, or who's the other one? Oh my God, it's right on the top of my brain. I can't remember. Tragedy Pimps Exposed and someone else. Oh Lord. Oh, don't lose your faith in the human race. Not everybody's like that. For real. For real, for real. All right, let me turn Jody back on. I've been on here 2 hours and I don't have anything to do. So we're going to stay on a little bit more. Plus, we kind of talked about everything because that's what I do over here. We talk about everything. I just can't talk about one thing. It always goes in different directions. But thank you, really, September Virgo, thank you. And I am so sorry to hear that crap is going on with you. I hate that. Mustang Granny, what you doing? Right.
And if the right things had been spoken, we would have started being like, hey, yeah, and we might have been able to have enough proof as a community to, you know, but it didn't happen.
Sassy Pants, guess what? Go back over to wherever. I'm not dealing with you. That's when I escorted Sassy Pants back out. Lord have mercy. I will, Stein Eric. I promise. I promise. When you ship that stuff to your home, hello. Oh, then pay your car insurance and other things. They are just morons. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Anytime, September Virgo, anytime you want to talk about it and you have time, because I know that you said a storm's coming, I want you to be careful. You lost that. Hey, Jude, don't make it sad. Take a sad song and make it better. I ain't seen you forever. Where you been, lady? I come in here. Don't ever disrespect me again. Goodbye.
Now we're all just shit. I gotta tell you, I've never been in any of the sheds of Dawn and Candace.
She's trying. I think she's trying to say in Arkansas where she was, right?
I guess all the kids and the rest. And what is it? That boogeyman? I don't know.
Well,
I always mess with me like that. It's like Marlena. We're going.
I heard so many boogeyman stories in the Summer Wells case. There's a lot of boogeymen out there. They do things to children. They're all called the boogeyman. And in the Summer Wells case, there's more than one boogeyman. Go figure.
But Auntie Wee, but yeah, look at that and what she was doing. All things are out.
I mean, that's. I told you know what. I tried to tell her what was going to happen because she came out talking about that stuff, and you know, I kept telling her they're going to come for you. They're you're telling these people things that they're coming to take you away. Ha ha ho 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 ho. Like I said, nobody ever listens to Remain Calm. Ever. But I do not go around telling people I told you so. But for all those people that I told you so, how about this? I told you so. Because there's a list. For real. I will flatten that ass, but I have to have all my ducks in a row. And yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, September Virgo. Yep, just get your ducks in a row and take care of that. Take care of that, ma'am. But I'm here for you. And when you're all done with it and you want to talk about it, I'm here for you, girl. You're putting yourself right there with them. Don't think nothing's going to be said about it because that's exactly what happens. Right there with them.
They're like, "Oh, you're here and we love you and they'll champion you," and then they eat you at the other end of it.
They do. Exactly. They do. Have you guys ever noticed that? Marlena is a great example. They all love Marlena for about a week. about a week and a half. And now they don't love her no more. Marlena, I thought you was going to start your own channel. What happened to that? Get that thing started, girl. You get on there and you talk to us. For real.
Content one way, content back the other.
Yep.
You know? And then they make it look like that person did it all on their own and no creators helped them.
Exactly.
Asking for extra data or asking for lies, or, you know, they will use the shit out of them. And those like Marlena, they might get $25 here and there, 50 or 500 or 1,000 or two. And they might think, oh my God. Meanwhile, these creators are bringing in more than that to do it. And back plus what they're getting.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They're making fortunes off of it. And so these measly dumbasses like Marlene and dumbass Sylvia, they're getting some dope money, but they're going to be eaten alive and it's going to live forever online. Like for nothing.
Yep. It stays online.
Is that really worth?
Well, and that was the thing too, because I was like, look, you know, if she's wanted, because, you know, allegedly she was on prayer gardens and she had to drop down, the cops that came or whatever. And I'm like, does she not realize that it didn't take them very long to figure out where she was at? And if she's wanted, they're going to come find her. Unless she got out of there pretty quick.
Marlene, but those she's traveling with, she's definitely pulling some aiding and abetting, it looks like. And Prayer Garden and Justin are well aware of this, which means they're helping it.
Wow.
And anybody sending Marlene cash apps, once they become aware of it, and it firmly gets outed, and which she's admitted to in Prayer Gardens, even though Prayer Garden has recently, as of yesterday, hit a bunch of her lives. Imagine that. Where you can hear clearly the voices of those traveling around Marlene and that she's around and who she's admitting to be around. And they're hoping to hide enough time. But anyway, anybody wants to.
That's what I said. Do you guys understand why I said that? If you're wanted by law enforcement, that is a small area. That's a small area. And if they wanted Marlena that bad, all they had to do was listen. She basically said where she'd been hanging out at.
It becomes fully known.
Hang on, she told on herself.
Sending money to do that are clearly aiding and abetting. Now, that doesn't mean court records and stuff are keeping up either. You know what I mean? Because you know how some of that stuff cannot be right for a while.
Yep.
But I checked it again. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's what it's
I mean, doing. That's the thing about it.
Marlena said she's traveling with, and I can hear her in the background. That's who I've seen her with. And it looks like they have warrants out on them for the big boy stuff like that. Violating on meth, heroin, Suboxone.
Wow.
The big boy cases.
I don't know if I would want anybody on social media, especially YouTube, in the talking anything about another family. If I've got people like that with me, I would think they wouldn't want any recognition or anything like that. That's right.
Well, as long as it's told they're playing roles like protecting her, doing this, or she's not, or whatever, blah, blah. But Justin and PG are well aware, which means if everything holds and those sites are.
And I don't watch them. I don't watch Prayer Garden or Justin. I'm not telling you guys not to. I mean, you know, Justin's got that cute monkey now, so I mean, go over and hang out with the monkey. But no, I just don't watch them. I don't watch a lot of them. I really, usually if I see something that somebody's clipped it, that's why I like clip channels.
Current and been updated and everything. And yeah, I know who's with her when I've seen her. So yeah, I mean aiding and abetting. So that's what Marlena will be doing. And PG and Justin are well aware of it. I know they are, along with a bunch of their mods and creators right now. Anybody doing that is helping aid and abet that way. That's fact. It's chargeable as well. And then once audiences and chatters and members become aware of it, well, anything you give her to help move them around is helping someone aid and abetting, and others aiding and abetting.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but do you think that law enforcement would go through the trouble to get YouTube creators for aiding and abetting just because they're giving them money? I mean, if they know where they're at, I guess it would be, what crime did the people do? Girl, September Virgo, go sit down. Sit down, girl, right now. Take a woo-saw moment. We're all just going to take a quick woo-saw moment here, okay? There's been a lot of info today, for sure. Oh, that was Saturday. Well, you need to be sitting down right now, ma'am. For sure. But I mean, basically, what does all of that tell us? There's not good people in the area. I wonder what they did, though. I never, I'd have to get their names. I don't even know what the names were of the people she was hanging with. But I'm just being nosy. That's just something I'd be nosy about. Yeah. I would be, let me know. Okay. Well, get ready for the bank lady then. And good luck. Good luck, really. If you end up having to, I hope you changed your card. So definitely have them give you a new card. For sure. Absolutely. Well, I would hate to see a lot of bad things happen to her, but
I don't want to see anything bad happen to her. Everybody that's alive and well right now needs to stay that way.
Right.
And I don't want to see her on all kinds of stuff and seeing shadow people in it. I don't want to see her family get the worst call they could ever receive because people are money either.
Right.
You feel me? We don't need no more hope.
We're not really having a big conversation about Prayer Garden over here. So I don't know about any of that stuff. I actually, Jody, I blocked Prayer Garden right after I started my channel. I did. She come over and was defending her sister. I call her sister, might as well be. And I kind of, I was being respectful, and she kept talking, and I was like, Prayer Garden, hey, Prayer Garden, hey, Prayer Garden. I said it like 4 times, and then I was finally like, just get the fuck out of here. Yep. If you're going to sit there and, keep talking and ain't going to give me a chance to talk on my own fucking channel, forget it. Yep. So I just blocked her out.
Are you hitting things that may remain? Are you hitting?
No, I wasn't. No, ma'am, Jody. I don't think you've ever been blocked over here.
No, taking over your channel because people often accuse me.
Oh, no. Hell no.
I try to respond.
Like I said, that's the thing about it. And that's the thing I want to let people know. When I let somebody come up here on my channel, I never feel like they're taking over my channel. Because if I don't want somebody up here, then I'm not going to let them up there. I'm not. With creators, you kind of know what people who go up on some creators, if they kind of like to take over or whatever. A creator knows that. So, yeah. Nobody who ever comes up on my channel is taken over. For real. But I do, if I'm having a conversation with somebody, well, that's what it is. I like to have conversation. Just a normal freaking conversation with someone. No screaming, no freaking telling each other you hate each other's guts, none of that shit. It doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't me anyway. Try and decipher what's being said in between screams. That's no fun. I don't know about any other creator, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, girl, September Virgo, you be careful. We love you too, girl. We do. And I hope you get everything taken care of. I really do. And for anyone to do that to you is just really fucked up. I appreciate you coming up and talking to me. It's been a long time. I mean, we probably should have made it happen a lot sooner, but you know, sometimes people don't understand. There's times to say things, and then there's times not to say anything about, you know, something specific. And Marlena coming out just kind of opened herself up to, you know, what is said, and you're the one. What Marlena opened herself up to that she wasn't expecting, in my opinion, to open herself up to was the, I think she knew that there was going to be drama, but she didn't know it was going to get that deep. That's what I think. I think that the drama, yeah, that was all correlated, but I honestly think that Marlena didn't know that they were going to hit really low. One from that area, and you would know a lot better than me what's going on. So
she's from here, don't get me wrong, like, you know, but what she's doing is a mixed up, convoluted garbage bag full of bullshit. I mean, seriously, I'm gonna nickname her.
Well, that's what I was saying too. It's like she's attacked. And you know what? Jody lives there. Jody knows if a lot of what Marlena was saying was the truth. Jody said the people you're with probably don't want their names out there, Marlena. I heard Jody say something like that. Attacking Dawn and Candace, and it's like, why are you doing that? Because at one time you were there, and what do you think about?
She's over. Think about what she's doing. She's putting all this shit on everybody. They beat me alive because I wouldn't let my kids over. But look, she had her, and I don't want to start on kids. I don't mean this in any way.
I get it. Yeah,
I'm bothered, but bro, she actually is over using and dealing, willing, and leaving her kid there and watching the room abuse that even Jose didn't say. Like, and people are like, oh my, I'm like, what's happening? But if you notice, I've never come out here. If you see me slamming all these years, you've been seeing me be like, Marlena this, Marlena that, Marlena. No, I don't even really mention her ever. But now she's telling people all I've ever done is run my mouth on her. No, for the most part, nobody even
that was weird, because she even came in chat and said something about you and Fred were trying to get her daughter taken or some shit.
No, that was lips, dude. She probably proclaimed it online.
Well, no, I think what she's hearing is because Fred came out and basically said something about that Ziggy stuff when he was talking about.
If y'all remember, I was crying over lips, being like, "Oh, I finally got jerked away from Marlena," you know, and knowing what lips had attempted to do with this group of mine. I mean, it broke my heart.
Right.
And I know there was already DCS involved and family stuff involved that was going to take Journey. I know, right? But what and how lips did all that, and I even that's what I was talking to Marlena about at the gas station was lips, and that piece of shit still doing shit, you know. So
well, I think what happened too is, you know, Lips had access to Marlena's family, right?
Yeah.
And so she was talking to Marlena's family. And yeah, I mean, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me over what Jody said. Because I already know. Oh my God. She mentioned my name. I didn't mention your name. Jody did. Jody did. So I don't need for you to run out here and fucking say I did shit to my husband, who y'all don't want to call my husband, because we did get divorced quite a few years ago, but we stayed together. He was my husband 30-something years. What else do you want to fucking say? What else do you really want to fucking say? I am. Okay, Andrew. Thank you. Thank you very much. Whatever, dude. Whatever. I think you're one person I ain't really said a whole lot about there, Andrew. Why am I on your list? What do you want to know? For real. Well, this is the thing, Andrew. I don't need to talk shit about anybody. I really don't. Well, that's really nice, Andrew. I mean, I'm telling you, the last month has been a lot. A fucking lot. And the shit needs to fucking just put the brakes on. Put the brakes on. But I'm not going to be the person. Look, I'm not here to use my platform to really hurt other people. And whatever went on with the Marlena and Lips and the family, that has nothing to do with Summer. That has nothing to do with Summer. So, well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. I do. All right, let's finish hearing this. So I think a lot of that was the family themselves.
But what's weird is those family are still, it's like even when I'd see Marlena open on certain times, those family were with her. And they were clearly aware of Lips and all. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Why, that is interesting that the whole family was aware of you. Only because I got something in my back pocket, but it ain't got nothing to do with you. So, unless I don't know, but they ended up with Journey anyway, right?
Well, they were always sort of going, and it's like they were already supposed to have it. But either way, Lips doing and saying what she was around Journey was sick. And y'all know, the lives are still here. Where I was like, that's fucked up. And I've always railed against.
I do have a banner up that I'm running under Jody, and it says Summerwell's been missing since June 15, 2021 from her home in Eastern Tennessee.
Lips, I'm like, what she did.
No relevant information.
Journey using her, trying to get her own self out of trouble in court. And all that, what she did to her neighbor was gross. Sick.
Nor has any, I gotta stop it. Nor has any information that some of the locals have given to social media. It's a long one. You guys can read it.
I don't think Marlena did birth certificates off to go still summary thing, So I took up for Marlena, but otherwise I never even mentioned her. But what's the narrative right now? Oh, that Jody's been married for years, just lying about Marlena. Bitch, I've been ever taking up for you and your fucking kid. Shut up. Fuck you mean? And I rarely mention her. But here she is with this narrative, and I wonder why. Because it's the thing to do all these years, right? If it ain't Andy and Jody Sue,
well, I seen Dawn in chat, right? Thank you. Saying something when she was on PG's, it might have been last night when Dawn Wells showed up. And he was like, do you want me to tell him about the trash you tried to bring up to the hill or something? And I was like, what fucking trash are you talking about? I don't know if Dawn keeps going back to him feeling like, or saying what trash? That they were coming up there and taking some of these tools and stuff.
But that's the thing. I've shown the receipts of how Dawn was telling it. The true, their version of it. But Candace and I were messaging back and forth, and I've shown those receipts over the years. And I've often said, and I know many of y'all been around, have heard me. I'm like, it's real convenient that every time something gets taken off the hill, it's always the dog trail, which was not a dog trail till summer vanished, but that area. And somebody sneaks up it and steals something precious to Dawn's right in the middle of the day and whatever. But that is where supposedly Marlena and they were parking is right where you hear Dawn say, the dog trail and seeing her and Bobby, the one she's traveling with right now, not the one.
Oh, they were parking down in that area?
Yes. And they were walking out, and they were stealing Don's tools and stuff. And I've shown receipts where Marlena and everybody and Bobby they owed Candace Senior money. Well, I wonder why. And they owed Candace Junior money. Well, what the fuck? Wait a minute. She ain't got no job. What do you mean? Right?
What's up with that? Us, right?
And then Don had Bobby working for him. And he was taking a bunch of Bobby's money for whatever purpose it was. I've shown those receipts. So obviously there was willing and dealing of some kind. They owe Candace Senior money for something. Wonder what that was. Looking back now, right? What they owe Candace Junior money for? She ain't no job. What money did she have? What is going on there? Then at the same time, you have all this stuff. I mean, and then Candace saying she's going to the police first on them and blah, blah. And you can tell it's a game. It's something.
Right, back and forth, yeah.
You know, they're always like, oh, we were just helping the children. We were helping this couple. We were helping somebody get off meth or drugs. And that was what Candace was saying to me, those receipts I've shown you all my life. Candace is like, oh, we were just trying to help Marlena and Bobby get off dope. They're real bad on it. And, you know, imagine that when she's up around summer. Oh, but yeah.
Why has no one ever listened to Jody before? Why they spend all this time trying to discredit everything she says? She just said a lot. And she's even telling you she's got the receipts. She showed them on her channel or on her community wall. I am not going to sit here and say anybody is guilty of anything. I don't know. I wasn't there. Never had firsthand knowledge of anything. All the cards are on the table. So why wouldn't we listen to everything? And people can say I drank the Jody Sue Kool-Aid. Well, it was tropical punch, and I really liked it. I understand that, Jude. I know a lot of people feel that way. But I guess you got to kind of hear what's leading up to the one thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's precious the sticks in the storm. You know, give me Candace Don ain't lying about Marlena's drug use. No, nobody else is either. And everybody in her community knows, but like, it's gross. You know?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, if you look at Don Wells, he's never hid the fact that he, you know, he likes his stuff.
His dad for the major coke. So is Fred. Fred's the one out here putting out Marlena and her dad and everybody else's business first.
Well, you know, Marlena said that her dad was involved with, what was it, that 32 people that got busted? Yeah, she said that. And I will go back through that too. Let me write that down. The 32 busted individuals. The names will interest you. We have a lot of names that anyone who has followed the Summer Wells case, you'll be interested in these last names.
Went down there.
And then he changed his life around and became a deacon at that little church in there, or what?
Maybe, I don't know. But then, like, you have Don saying other family members of Marlena's he was messing around with for drugs. Right. And, you know, he says that online himself. Fred's the first one to put Marlena, her daddy, and everybody's business out there as a coke dealer, is this big, and, you know, all this other shit. Yep. Marlena's the one getting everybody's names in the name community, talking about this one, talking about that one, that nobody else around here.
Yeah, because Marlena said that her father was messed up in that 32 and stuff, and that he turned his life over to God and became a minister or something.
You know what I mean? It's like they ain't no need on it. You know, cornbread or not, like all it's doing is convoluting shit. That's it.
Yeah, I think so
And,
too. I mean,
and it's part of the narrative. It's part of that big bad hillbilly sicko. You know, goofy script writing somebody's been doing, namely PG and Squall since the beginning, and Dawn and everybody, you know.
right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, everything, like we said, has been so
You ain't
convoluted with bullshit that, you know, you can't pinpoint what the facts are because the story just gets bigger and bigger and more extravagant. And
if she was taken, there's a high probability whoever took her probably was on drugs or related to cornbread and stuff, but that don't mean cornbread mafia did it or had it done.
right,
It just
right,
means one of the many dopers like Marlene and Belcher. You know, it doesn't mean cornbread or cartel Mexico Russian
right.
organ.
Well,
You
and I
know,
think a lot of people too, Jody, you know,
and
when they were pulling up all these people, you know, that might have, oh, that they were Facebook friends or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody hangs around with each other and knows each other like
it's
that.
like, man, I know so many of these people, right?
Right.
And they're big bad motherfuckers, and they are real people. Most people be like, you know,
Right.
but that doesn't mean you're of them or like them. And
Exactly.
around here, you're going to know all these people. So just because we're Facebook friends or we run
Right.
into it doesn't mean that we're all like, hey, bro, dog, we're just like, you know, it's like you can live around or amongst. That doesn't mean you're of.
Right.
You know? And
Uh,
this place, I know that I hold evidence, fact, and proof that some of these creators have blackmailed other family, held stuff over them, like turning them or their families in if they didn't come play or create chaos or give them names or do whatever, or to target or to build this narrative of all the shit they have for years. I hold proof of it being done on purpose and with whom
right.
and with the family. So I know it's a built thing.
Yeah.
It
And
was,
that's so sad.
yeah, it
That is
is.
so sad.
And it was of no help, and it still is not to Summer. And that's what this is all about, though. They'll tell you that people aren't sort of like, oh, listen to her. It's all about her. It's all about her. It's not. Nor has it ever been. And when I talk about the things done to the kids and I, and even still, you know, I never mean truly just us, but I'm not going to dox everybody else I know that still isn't coming forward or doesn't need to be known or, you know, things have been done to by this group or others. I have a
Right.
heart for my communities here and those who have been hurt by YouTube and others and their names, reputations, doxed, all this. I know the damage is done. And I know very well every day who's at the center and who matters the most. And that is indeed Summer. And I
Right.
do found desperately, and I do want justice for her more than anything. I'd give more.
I believe that. I believe that. I do think Jody wants something for you know, justice for Summer. I really do. And I think she's been um, you know, like I said, I'm not going to run out here and find any contradictions in Jody's story. I'm not going to do it. Yes, YouTube can be super toxic. Super duper toxic. And thank you, Andrew. If you're going to be nice, you got to be nice. I can't handle people screaming at me and shit at all. I'm over it. I'm over the getting screamed at. For real. But I still didn't like what you did to Crystal. I didn't like you did that to Crystal, Andrew. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Even if she had that picture out on her page or whatever. I just thought that was wrong. For real. You just can't take someone's DV experience and I mean, who are we to question anybody's personal DV experiences? Because a lot of times it's just re-victimizing the victim. And maybe she put that picture up there so, you know, she could get a little support. And I hope nobody went in there and said anything mean and vile to her about it. For real. For real. I've been through my own. Like I said, I think all of us, I think every single one of us, sometime in our life was around some sort of domestic violence and, you know, probably was too young to maybe even recognize it as that. Even if it was just somebody yelling at somebody else. So, but that's just the way I am. So, I mean, Jody showed pictures of hers. She did. I think they're over. They might be on her community. Well, no, I don't know if she's got them on her community page or not. These are people who's showing us horrible things that happen to them. And I'm not going to be the person that sits over here and tells anybody that they're lying about their own personal experience like that. At all. At all. For real. All right, we got 20 minutes. Do you just want to have a conversation for 20 minutes? Or do you want me to keep playing this? So if you want me to play it, put play. Whoever says play first, either no or play. I don't care. I mean, there's just play it, you know, as I'm playing this, I think the first day I really didn't say a whole lot, but, you know, I might as well add into the conversation. Why not? So we may end up with 5 parts of this instead of 4. For real.
Cornbread Mafia did it or had it done. It just means one of the many dopers like Marlena Belcher. You know, it doesn't mean cornbread or cartel, Mexico, Russian organ.
Well, and I think a lot of people too, Jody, you know, when they were pulling up all these people, you know, that might have, that they were Facebook friends or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody hangs around with each other and knows each other like that.
It's like, man, I know so many of these people, right?
Right.
And they're big bad motherfuckers, and they are real people. Most people be like, you know, but that doesn't mean you're of them or like them.
Exactly.
And around here, you're going to always feel so just because we're Facebook friends or we run into it doesn't mean that we're all like, hey, bro, dog, we're just like, you know, it's like you can live around or amongst. That doesn't mean you're of.
Yeah. Right. Yes. You guys understand what she's saying, right? You may be in an area, you know a lot of people, but it doesn't mean that you're hanging out being buddies with them every day, or you even have a conversation with them on your phone. It may just be people that you've known of forever. I tell my track coach, don't yell at me. Oh, did he yell at you? Well, he probably won't yell at you again. He was probably sad that he hurt your feelings.
In this place, I know that I hold evidence, fact, and proof that some of these creators have blackmailed other family, held stuff over them, like turning them or their families in if they didn't come play or create chaos or give them names or do whatever, or to target or to build this narrative of all the shit they have for you. I hold proof of it being done on purpose and with him.
Right. Wow.
So I know it's a built thing.
Yeah, and that's so sad.
Yeah,
that is so sad.
and it was of no help, and it still is not to Summer. And that's what this is all about, though. They'll tell you that people like myself, like, I'll listen to her, it's all bad, it's all bad, it's not. Nor has it ever been. And when I talk about the things done to the kids and even still, I never mean truly just us, but I'm not going to dox everybody else I know that still isn't coming forward or doesn't need to be known, or, things have been done to by this group or others. I have heart for my communities here, and those who have been hurt by YouTube and others and their names, reputations, doxed, all this. I know the damage is done, and I know very well every day who's at the center and who matters the most, and that is indeed Summer. And I do them desperately, and I do want justice for her more than anything. I'd give my life for it.
I believe that, Jody. I believe you.
You
I
know,
believe you.
and
It's just, and like I said earlier, it's just, it wouldn't have mattered whatever you came out and said. You were either going to have people who commended you for it, or they were going to totally try to annihilate her. Put out everything that you're saying is not true. And that's sad to me, because like I said, I've always listened to you off and on. And I know you joke about the hours long lives, but if people really went and would listen to some of the things you were saying, they totally make sense for that area. I mean, you've been telling us stuff the whole time. You just haven't been on here wasting your breath. You're saying a lot of things. She is saying a lot.
I'm not a creepy person, you know what I mean? I'm not here for content.
But you have to remember too, we have to, and I can't say this enough, you have to look at different things being different said on different levels. So when, we hear of what she states as things going on with Marlena, a lot of it's very interesting. And, one day I'll pull out the red flags for you and tell you about them. But in this conversation, she says a lot about that situation. And I think people really need to hear what, that part of the conversation was.
I'm not a creator, so I'm not 15 minutes or 20. I could come on here every day for 24 hours a day, because I always technically, quote, have content, because what I speak about most is these YouTubers, what they're doing in cases, how they're doing it. Often you'll see me reference self and children, but that's to use that as reference, right? Not because I'm like, oh, look at me over Summer. It's because of Sebastian, Layla, and Holly, and Petito, and Harmony, and all the rest. It matters to me greatly.
Yeah, I get it. I get that completely.
But
I'm like that too.
I'm old school. When I speak, I'm a conversationalist. I'm not, here's the content, here's an hour, 15-minute live. Oh, it's about cash apps and hit the like, sub, whatever. And for me, I always continue in a way that's others every day.
I'm like that too. I mean, I think we all like a little acknowledgement, sometimes, but especially when I talk about Summer, it's not a big deal to me. Not to monetize, a lot of money. Now, I do monetize just for commercials or whatever. And I just do that because a lot of times I'm pulling from a lot of the information that I've had and stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with throwing, some ads in there. I just not big on a lot of acknowledgement from chat and stuff, because I always want to have a very good conversation about Summer and what goes on in the holler. And what we found from the get-go was a lot of weird shit and weird people, and people that were not even from the area were, getting people from the area to come into the area and video everything in there, and, act like that they knew the inner workings of Beach Creek, and they really didn't.
I've watched people you all have lifted up now. I mean, by you all, don't mean necessarily.
Well, Jude. I'm glad that you're giving Jody some advice. But sometimes when you get on a live, I mean, you can end up talking for a long time. Oh my God. Jude, stop it, girl. Stop it, girl. I'm not here to talk about Jody and her organizational skills. Okay? You will have to get with her on that. You've got to get with her on that.
You know what I mean? But like in YouTube world here, that they've lifted up to be channels and these big names, but they were really in Summers, and I watched them pretend to be this or that and the other, and you bust them out pretend to be searchers or this, and they were pretending to be this, pretending to be that. Don B pretended to be a neighbor, saying trains are going through the creek. You have those like Shay saying she was local at first, and people forget all these things and origin points, and they wonder why we don't trust him or answer questions.
Right.
And all the things going around us, it's like it's even hard to run my. As you can see, it's empty. They bullied that shit empty, and then what does come in there are trolls. They say, well, you don't pay attention to chat. And it's like, man, when you're me and you're sitting back there, you know, most of what comes in is directed target or meant to distract or disrupt me.
Exactly.
Or 2x2 or to terrorize or to insult or whatever, and then make it look like I'm the big bad guy putting everybody in the box. And if you speak over there, you'll whatever. Or then you get weirdos who just think it's okay to be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter that she actually knows this person. Let's talk about someone in the most disgusting way possible.
Exactly. I remember, Jody, this is funny, but I remember when Jody blocked me because her and Lip Lock would go back and forth. They didn't like each other. And I went over Jody's and I was messing around and I was only trying to be funny, Jody. I didn't really think of it as trolling. And I put down, hey, it's a new year. Why don't you and Lip Lock make up? And she got really mad at me. She was like, I know what you're trying to do, remain calm. I felt kind of bad. I was being serious. I was being serious, Jody, really.
She's gone. She's this. And that question, it hurts, man. And it's like they get, well, here's my theory. I mean, I get it. Everybody has their own theory, whatever. But man, I don't. And they get really detailed about that stuff. And it's
these are people that never even physically ever seen Summer, didn't know about her, didn't know nothing of her. All she was at first was a name that came out as a missing child. And you know, as her case has gone on, it's definitely, you know, took on a definite life of its own.
Yes, it has.
But, you know, and it's like, and I seen that, I understand what you're saying, because it's like they didn't care what they were saying to you. I just hate that. It's like, well, the thing about it was, because that was about the same time with me, Jude. It's been a long time. But I guess when I did that, I didn't realize what kind of things that some of these trolls were doing to her. And I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. From even the beginning, they didn't humanize you. It was like you wasn't a fucking human being.
Yeah,
they still don't, which is fine. But they do that to Summer as well. For most, even though they care about Michelle or this and the other, they don't technically see Summer as Summer, and they project on her. They latch onto her. They make her. They take her own personality and voice from her, and they virtue signal, and it's just so weird. And people call and listen to people be like our baby or everything. I'm like, ooh, you know. Or I mean, there's these weirdos that eat me alive on here that every day, and they call David weird for the flute stuff. But there's some of these on here every night they're singing. I'm like, man, you need to take a break, step away. Like every day, I'm eating alive by the puzzles and questioning and stuff. But these people didn't know, and they're like singing, and then eating everybody that's in her real life a lot. Like it's a little creepy, man. It gets creepy. You know, and they get mad at us when we're like, I'm not doing. You're weird, and why are you asking me this stuff? Like I have no soul, or like, well, you know, we didn't know her. Or, you know, like.
Well, and that's the bad thing too, because one thing that I noticed, because this even happened to me, and I'm a smaller creator, and I ain't no big creator, and I had people who were asking me for my notes. And, it was like once you would let somebody, and it was constant. Every time they talked to you, all they wanted to do was talk about Summer and what could have happened to her. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but
you know, it was like a lot of people, like you said, go.
I seen a lot of people that started, and this is just my opinion, started to kind of, you know, let it affect them mentally and physically. And once you get to that point, you do have to step back. You got to step back from it. And because depending on what creator that you're watching who's talking about Summer in her case, you know, it can be you know, a high freaking drama. And yeah, it can definitely affect you mentally and physically.
Go touch the grass a little bit.
Yep,
You know,
touch the
you're not
grass.
stopping to even think about the common sense of this whole case. It's more about, you know, keeping people online and the craziness. And it's just a lot. It gets to be a lot.
And it gets exhausting. It's like for almost, well, we've not been out here for a long time, obviously, but you know, a certain point where, but you're looking at least close to what, 3.5 years now.
Right.
Yep, coming on 4 years, you guys.
No, they
Almost 4
wasn't,
years.
Anna. Jody and Andy weren't the last ones to see Summer.
No, I didn't see Summer at all on June 5th. So, and I didn't
She
see
just
Candace
said.
till after 6:09. So that's just how that is.
That's what she's saying. She didn't see him at all on June 15th. She didn't see Candace that day at all until after 6:09.
But
What do you mean, Lips? You've been hit up so many times. Give you what? What? I don't know
Oh,
what she
Lips was
saying.
in chat.
but like you know, for years, it's over and over every day in some chat or some place, or every time you open this, really, it doesn't matter what creator's room, doesn't matter, comment section, your stuff like they check the wells. Andy and Jody refuse. Candace don't refuse searches. Nobody was this. Neighbors unaware. Like when I first come to yours, you have that one talking about how there were no roadblocks. Yes, there was. Look right behind Lawson in that first night's broadcasting. It's on WCYB. That roadblock was directly behind him, and it was in the center of Beach Creek, and so it's catching all coming and going, you know.
Right.
And yes, there was. Yes, there was.
So she's telling us there was a roadblock, that they had blocked it off for sure, that there was a roadblock. So, all right, I'm going to stop it there. So I know exactly where I freaking stopped it. So this one, you're probably getting a little bit of part 2 again, but the whole conversation was interesting. Jody, don't be mad at me over talking about the freaking, I wasn't talking about you at all. So there. But yeah, we'll do another part tomorrow because it's almost 4 o'clock and I don't want to go no further. But I really, really enjoyed the conversation today. I really enjoyed the conversation with Jody. And like I said, I don't want people using my stuff to go after somebody or use it to say mean things. I'm not going to go around and see where everybody says Jody contradicted herself. That's for you guys. That's not for me. I am not going to do it. Hey, Lori. For real. For real. Stein Eric, yes, I haven't forgot about you and yours. September Virgo, thank you so much. If you're listening, girl, I hope you get all that stuff worked out. And that is just awful. That is awful. So keep us posted on it for real. Keep us posted on it for real. So, but I enjoyed the conversation today. Like I said, You know, if I sounded bitchy, I just get real passionate when it comes to summer. And, you know, I'm not here to change how other creators talk about summer. They're going to talk about whatever they want, or, you know, I really don't care how they make their money, because, you know, if they're making money, they're making money. Can I say that, you know, sometimes it's pretty messed up? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I am not the YouTube police. I am actually YouTube Homeland Security. When there's a big problem, call in YouTube Homeland Security. We will check it out. How about that? So, all right, I'm going to get my ass off here. You guys have a great afternoon, and we'll do part 2 tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to come back online. Got a few things to do. And so we'll do it maybe I don't know, probably 2 or 3 tomorrow. It'll be later in the afternoon. So for real. And people in the bushes, come on in, chat and hang out and give your opinion. Nothing wrong with giving your opinion. It's just as important as ours, for sure. For sure, for sure. Jude, I'll let Jody know you need to get with her. So, yeah. Yeah, pretty messed up. But like I always say, you have to try to you just, some things you got to put in the corner and leave it there for a little while. And you know, if there's anything there that might fit with something later on down the line, then that's what it's there for. But so many things, I mean, for real, we had locals kind of fighting with each other, and you know, then you had strangers on YouTube who were you know, inserting themselves into people's lives, and you know, saying that I remember the victims advocates very well. I'll never forget that there was a recording. Listen to this. There was a recording, and it's out there, where alleged victims advocates were recording a conversation that they were having about Dawn Wells. And I'll never forget, they were laughing and said that they had to do something before a certain time because he would be wasted. So, I mean, it's an interesting conversation. I've got it wrote down somewhere, but I'm not looking for it. Not right now. So, but yeah. And I said, how could you be a true victim's advocate and release phone calls about your client like that? Didn't make no sense to me, but I wasn't acting like I was one. For real. For real, for real. All right, I am getting my asses off of here. You guys go have fun, do whatever you're doing. Stay out of trouble. I don't want to have to come and get you. I don't want to have to come and get you from YouTube jail. You hear me? I don't want to have to do it. So, all right. Thank you guys. Hanging out 3 hours. Oh, I can't do this again, but we will get to part 4 tomorrow, and maybe we'll get through it tomorrow. So it was a good conversation, Jody, and I do appreciate it. So I know you're mad at me, but oh my God, don't make me do it. Oh no. Okay, wait a minute, you guys. Wait a minute. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, you made me do it. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Hold on, if I can find it. All right. Here, Jody. If I can get it right. Hold on. Hold on, I got to get it right. Here, Jody.
I'm calling him right now. Why are you mad at me? Why you don't ever again? Do you hear me? You never, ever do again. Done with it.
I could not help myself. I couldn't help myself. All right, thank you. Thank you guys very much. And thank you, September Virgo. I am going to go buy me a new mouse with that because my mouse is messing up. My mouse is dying. So thank you very much for that, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm getting my butt off here. Like I say, you never know what I'm going to talk about when I get on here. But I just had to start, having a conversation about it. You know me, I can't keep my mouth shut. So thank you though, Jody. Everything that you've talked about so far makes a lot of sense to me. I can tell you that. I don't know if it does everybody, but it's made a whole lot of sense to me for sure. And yeah, for real. So I do appreciate you for sure. All right, my ass is off here. Everybody have a great day. Do not go show anybody any hate. For real. You may not like somebody, or whatever, but hate is a strong word. Hate is a very strong word. It really is. I'm not saying that there aren't a couple people that I don't hate, because there are. I hate their guts. I hate their guts. How about that? All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day. Later.